Today is the day that we're going to be getting a visit from the Westerhales Youth Agency, who are going to be taking and distributing all of these gifts to children who need them in the Christmas season. It is such a pleasure to donate all of these gifts that you've so generously brought in to the Westerhales Youth Agency, as they do some fantastic work in the local community. We're soon going to be joined by Yaz, who is going to tell us a little bit more about the Youth Agency and give you an insight into where these gifts are going. Hi everyone, so we're joined together with Yaz from the Westerhales Youth Agency today, who are going to be benefiting from all of the gifts that you generously donated to us. So Yaz and I are going to have a bit of a chat so you can learn more about the Youth Agency and what they do for the local community. Hi Yaz, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
No, of course, thank you so much for coming through. So this video, we're just going to have a little bit of a chat, get to know you and get to know the Westerhales Youth Agency a little bit more. So we'll just ask a couple of questions, but nice and casual.
Yes.
So yeah, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yes, so my name's Yaz. I'm one of the senior youth workers at Westerhales Youth Agency.
Amazing, great. And can you tell us a little bit more about what the Youth Agency does and who you service?
Yes, so Westerhales Youth Agency is a a voluntary organisation based in South West Edinburgh, and we work with young people aged 8 to 25 across our 5 service areas, which include individual support, so that's one-to-one support, so that's basically providing young people with a safe space to come and talk to a worker about any issues that might be affecting their life at that moment in time. It's not a time-limited service, so they can work with us for as long as they need that support, so sometimes that can just be a short, brief intervention. For other young people, it's a lot more long term, just depending on what's going on for them at that moment in time. That can be based in our building, which is based in Westerhales. So we've got our own purpose-built youth centre. It can be within local secondary schools, or it can be somewhere within their local community where they feel comfortable. And it just provides that safe, confidential space where they've got a trusted adult to speak to. It's totally young person led, so we're quite clear that it's not put into place by sort of statutory services, and it's really sort of taken at their pace. Then we also have our group work, which again can take place within schools, or it can take place within sort of local community settings or within our own building, and that can be on a variety of different issues that young people may be facing at that point in time. So some of the examples of that might be sort of challenging behaviour, it could be peer relationships, could be family relationships, it could be sort of dealing with issues relating to mental health, engaging with school, attainment, that type of thing. And again, they tend not to be time limited pieces of work. It's really based on the needs of the young people at that moment in time. And again, on a totally voluntary basis. We have got schools work, which includes a wide range of services. We're based within 3 local secondary schools. We go into schools and work with young people there. That involves our delivery of our SHP, group work. We've also got an MPA in youth work, and we've previously done MVP as well, so quite a lot of different programmes in school. And then some ad hoc pieces of work come up, and that can just be schools have maybe identified sort of maybe a cohort that need a bit of support on a certain issue, that type of thing. And we also run health drop-ins from school as well, so that's where young people have got access to a youth worker and the school nurse, and that can be around anything relating to health, so that's mental health, sexual health, and we can then look at signposting them on to other support services if and when we need it. I'm trying to think what else we do. We've got our drop-in provision, so that is basically our universal youth worker, our youth clubs, and that is also, we've got our own purpose-built youth centre that's open sort of evenings during the week, where we run groups for various age groups. So we've got our junior group, which is 8 to P6, our intermediate group, which is P7 to S3, and then our seniors. And basically, again, that's just really a space for young people within their own community to come along and have fun. Lots of different recreational activities, and that's very much led by the young people. So while we might have sort of programmes and sort of, for example, around about Christmas, we maybe got ideas that we suggest to young people, programme very much comes from them. So at the moment this week we've got our Christmas party week, so it's going to be a bit of a crazy week. So our juniors are having a proper Christmas party, whereas our intermediate group are that wee bit older, so they're having more like a hot chocolate and popcorn and Christmas pyjama party is what we're having with them. So again, all of that's sort of coming from the young people that we're working with. And then our final service area is street work or detached work, and that's where we go out and work with young people within their local communities. So staff tend to be out on a Friday night. We'll cover sort of the local communities of Sighthill, Broomhouse, Westerhales and Park Parkhead, and we'll just go out and work with young people at where they are. That can sometimes involve signposting them onto other services, or it can just involve engaging with them there. It could be a short intervention, maybe having a chat about what's going on for that moment in time, or over time you build that relationship up with them and you are out and meeting them on a constantly sort of weekly basis. We're quite clear that that's not really about policing young people, because we can sometimes get mistaken for that. So it's more about actually sort of supporting them, looking at positive ways they can engage with their local community. And I think that's everything we do.
Yeah, I mean, that is quite a lot. That is really quite a lot. And in fact, I'm glad that you mentioned the street work, because that's where you and I had met. So, yeah, a long time ago. That must have been like four years ago now. So that's where we first met. But no, that's great. I mean, it's really clear that the youth agency and so many like it have such a big impact on the kids. And would you say that, you know, there's a big need for youth work? You know, I think a lot of people say, oh, well, isn't that what the school is for? No, there's definitely a bigger need for youth work. I think it's quite important to recognise we can work alongside schools. Absolutely. And provide a lot of support. But actually, I think a lot of the time within school, teachers are so stretched, they've got that attainment and academic focus, whereas I think from a youth work point of view, what we can do can contribute to young people being able to engage better in education. So they're building those soft skills, they're increasing confidence, they're building resilience, they're working on their communication skills, their team working skills. All of those things then allow young people to engage in education. If you don't have those basics there, that's my personal opinion. I personally feel that if they're not there, then actually being able to engage in formal education. Also, some of the issues that young people we are working with can create a huge barrier to them engaging in formal education. Absolutely. So if we're working with young carers, we're working with young people that maybe have parental substance misuse. If young people are struggling with their own mental health, that's just a couple of examples there. If that's not working for them at the moment, how are they expected to go into that formal education centre or session or environment and learn? So by working in partnership with schools, we feel that we can benefit that. It's also a wee bit about recognising that for young people that not everything's academic. Yes, so absolutely. There's other routes, and not everything comes down to, I suppose, exam results. So some of the work that we do in school is still accredited. So like at the moment we've recently ran an MPA in youth work, so that's the equivalent to a higher, but actually it was ran in a youth work style. So young people have still left with a qualification that if they then choose to go either down that career path or a similar career path, they've got that there. But actually it's introduced onto a sort of whole different range of skills through doing that, and that's what a lot of our sort of group work programmes, even our drop-in, to be honest with you, like our youth club space is looking at building those soft skills there, that they can then use, transferable skills they can then take into that formal education setting. Absolutely, and I think it's something that's really overlooked a lot of the time, and I think, you know, the youth work philosophy and the philosophy of Kev's class are very similar in the sense of, you know, we're wanting to build the confidence of the kids and allow them to engage in whatever it is they want to do. So, you know, I've spent a lot of time in youth work, so I know how important it is, and I think it's important for the audience to realise as well that, you know, not everyone does access youth work, but it is such a vital, it plays such a vital role in so many kids' lives. And I think as well, one of the biggest things with youth work is you don't always see those changes instantly, but actually 5 or 10 years down the line, when you bump into that young person that you've met, and they say, oh, by the way, when I was in this group or when I came along to the drop-in, this has now let me do that. And we were chatting about this earlier, we've got young people that I'm working with that have now gone on to volunteering opportunities and are looking at careers in youth work, and had they not had that intervention at that point, they never would have happened. So I think one of the key things with youth work is it's those building blocks that you're building for that young person there, that then hopefully in later life they're then able to use those transferable skills, whether it be for education, for relationships, for jobs, wherever they end up. But that's the way that I like to look at it, is it's about building that whole person and giving them those skills that they can then take and use later on in life, I suppose. Absolutely, it's so vital, and I'm so glad that, you know, we have these sorts of facilities here in this region, and it's really important that we continue to support it. And you know, we're super glad to be able to support any sort of options that we do. For that. Definitely. No, of course. Grateful for that. Let's have a chat about Christmas. So, you know, for a lot of people, Christmas is a time that's really joyful and really happy, but can you give us a little insight into maybe how that might not be the case for some people? Yeah, I think for some of the families that we're working with, I mean, I think everybody is aware that it's been a cost of living increase. I think for some of them, just depending on their circumstances, Christmas can be a really difficult and challenging time, whether that be due to family relationships, peer relationships. For some young people being away from that safe space, that they're no longer in school, so school
school can quite often provide that safe space for them. Christmas can just be a really difficult and challenging time, both for parents and for the young people. So I suppose something like this, by the kind donations that we've received, that then allows us to kind of support families and maybe ease that pressure a wee bit at what is a very difficult time of year for them.
No, absolutely, and we really hope that all of the gifts are going to do something positive.
They definitely will. I think there'll be lots of smiling faces on Christmas Day.
Oh, I'm so glad. We are really so glad. If anyone wants to learn more about the Wester Hailes Youth Agency, where should they look? What should they do?
So we are on Instagram. We are on, I need to get this right, X, not Twitter. I think everybody still wants to call it X. Twitter even.
Yes, absolutely.
We also have Facebook pages as well. So we've got a young person's Facebook page, and we've got I suppose what is our like page, that's more for sort of parents and professionals, and then our website, which is youtheagency.co.uk. If you just search us on Instagram, X or Facebook will pop up as well, so you can see what we're doing and keep up to date with what's going on at our clubs and whatnot. And equally, if anybody's interested in coming along, then just come and speak to us.
For sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming today, Yaz. And thank you again as well for all of your kind donations. It has been so amazing to see all of the toy drive donations that we've had. It's actually blown us away. It blown us away how much we were able to receive, and we really look forward to imagining the smiling faces that all of your children are going to have on Christmas Day. But thank you so much, thank you so much for watching, everyone. And we'll see you soon. If we don't see you before then, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.